Today's payload, the NROL-87 satellite, is a national security payload designed, built, and operated by the National Reconnaissance Office. NRO missions provide critical information to more than 500,000 government users, to include every member of the intelligence community, 24 domestic agencies, our nation's military, lawmakers, and decision makers. Here's a closer look at the NRO and its capabilities.
For 60 years, we have been making the intelligence that keeps
Now
America
there's
safe
the propaganda.
possible. We are the leader in developing, building,
That's when I was saying the payload. You need to, when you watch these
our country's
space
reconnaissance systems.
takeoffs,
Our
the
adversaries
rockets,
are moving
the
fast,
satellites that they're deploying
so
into the
we
atmosphere.
are moving faster.
This is the
To
important
stay
part,
above
what's in the
all
payload.
threats.
This time they just
We
said,
are going
very
beyond.
secretive things, basically, for
Building
defence
resilience in
and
everything
government
we do.
compliance,
Innovating
or whatever
faster
wording they
to
use,
create the
which means
technology
surveillance,
of the future
surveillance,
with
surveillance.
a world-class
They're going to spy on
workforce
us, they're going
alongside
to
our partners and
track
allies.
us,
Our
they're going to do
future
everything.
is built on more than half of a century of unrivaled
And
success
we're
in
only
space operations.
the second month of the year.
The National Reconnaissance Office, above and beyond.
That tells you everything. Reconnaissance. Reconnaissance is
The
what
NRO has
you
a
do in
busy
the army.
launch year
You
planned
send people
ahead
to
for
scout things
2022,
out.
with more than a half dozen launches scheduled and a dozen payloads planned for orbit. While SpaceX has launched several missions for the NRO, today's mission represents the first launch of a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket procured directly under the National Security Space Launch, or NSSL program. NSSL is a government launch acquisition program aimed at ensuring continued access to space for national security missions. The program is overseen and operated through U.S. Space Force's Space Systems Command, headquartered in Los Angeles, California.
Now
One
you
thing to
understand
note,
why it was
per the
important.
NRO's request, we will not be sharing any views from the second stage today, and we will be ending our webcast around the T+8 minute mark, just after Falcon 9 touches back down onto land.
Now
We're
you know
almost
why
at 8
it
minutes
was
and 30
important
seconds.
for Space Force to be
Please respond.
implemented
Clarity on pulse. Not subject.
under the Trump
Loud and clear.
presidency.
PD.
Loud and clear.
Looks like a big you-know-what, doesn't it?
Quick poll there, as we just heard. We're approaching T-8 minutes. All systems continue to
Doesn't
look
look like
good for an
Astro Boy
on-time
anymore.
liftoff. So for now, let's take a closer look at the rocket on your screen. Falcon 9 is our two-stage rocket standing at 230 feet, or about 70 meters tall, roughly the height of a 20-story building. When it's fully fueled, it'll hold just over 1 million pounds of propellant that the vehicle will burn through in less than 3 minutes after liftoff. We began loading those propellants on both stages of the vehicle back at T-35 minutes. Bottom two-thirds of the vehicle is the first stage. While it's designed to be reflown 10 or more times with minimal refurbishment between flights, today will be the first flight for this particular booster. As you might be able to tell, that its shiny white coat of paint can be clearly seen. There's no soot on this booster. At the bottom of the first stage, there are 9 Merlin engines that will get Falcon 9 off the ground and up to the thinner parts of the Earth's atmosphere. The two stages will separate from one another. The second stage continues to orbit, while the first stage makes its way back down to Earth for its landing attempt at Landing Zone 4, which is not too far from where it will lift off. Here you can see Landing Zone 4 on your screen now. If successful, this will be the first landing for this booster. It will also mark the 105th successful recovery of an orbital-class rocket. Now, as for the second stage, which we see there just under the payload fairing, that will ignite its single Merlin vacuum engine, or MVAC, about 2.5 minutes into flight. It's this engine that will take the NROL-87 spacecraft to its intended orbit. At the moment, our payload today is safely enclosed inside the 17-foot diameter payload fairing, which you see there, the structure at the very top of the rocket. This protects the satellite from aerodynamic heating, loads, and contamination during ascent. Once we reach the vacuum of space...
Stage 1, fuel load is complete.
All right, good news there. Stage 1 fuel load has completed. Now, once we reach the vacuum of space, we'll jettison those fairing halves while the second stage continues on to orbit. Just like our Falcon 9 booster, today these fairing halves are also brand new, and we will be attempting to retrieve them from the water once they make their way back to Earth. mentioned earlier, this mission is for the National Reconnaissance Office, or NRO. The NRO is responsible for developing, acquiring, launching, and operating America's reconnaissance satellites, as well as operating associated data processing facilities in support of national security. These sophisticated systems are used to develop military targeting data, support international humanitarian relief operations, and assess the impact of natural disasters. As a reminder, per the NRO's request, we will not be showing any views from our second stage today, and we will be ending our webcast around the T+8 minute mark, just shortly after Falcon 9 touches back down at landing zone 4.
Yeah, they can't let you see anything that
So
comes out of there.
we are at
Might scare you.
5 minutes and
Might open your eyes.
6 seconds, and all systems remain go for an on-time liftoff. The range remains green and ready to support. As for the weather, as you can see by those views from Vandenberg Space Force Base, it's a gorgeous day for launch. We have basically 0% probability of violation with respect to weather rules for today. The vehicle and payload continue to be healthy. In fact, the payload is now on internal power. And if for some reason today that we are unable to launch, we do have a backup window tomorrow at the same time. Next up, the truss structure there next to the vehicle, known as
MD, cell D on countdown 1. GMD. It's AMD.
And I did check the ISS.
Come through the final status
Just
check. You and your team are
leave
go for launch
this
and landing.
and check where the ISS is. And as you can see, they're all the way, wherever they are, way up, over to the right somewhere, and the ISS is here. So considering that they're going to be going up into the upper atmosphere and the ISS is already up in the higher atmosphere, is there any chance they're going to collide? Do you think that is a little bit too close? Considering that that's nighttime, I don't understand how that is. That's in nighttime, but we're in daytime and I'm watching live. So that shows me that there's a bit of deceit happening somewhere, because I'm watching a live feed, but it's daytime. And this is showing that it's nighttime. Watch live. Close out of it. Where are we? Go back here. Now I have to watch the old crab ads, sorry, but this is to show you that it is definitely live.
Load complete.
There it is. So how can it be nighttime to the ISS, but it's daytime there?
The vehicle will start venting the liquid oxygen, as you can see there on your screen.
And people are
leftover
talking.
liquid oxygen basically left
So this is 100%
lines.
legit live. So I don't understand. Can someone answer that for me?
Everything continuing to look good for an on-time liftoff.
Because this should be nighttime. Because it is
MD is
quarter to
go for
5
launch.
in the evening
Falcon is
in
started.
Queensland, Australia. As you can see at the top of my
And we just
screen.
heard mission director is go for launch, and that the vehicle is in startup. The onboard flight computers have taken over the launch countdown.
So I don't understand. So the
Now
payload
at
is
T-minus
all up
25
the top up
seconds,
there.
let's listen in
All
to
up
the
there.
final countdown.
T-minus 15. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of L-87. Go Falcon, go, go.
Doesn't sound as interesting as what was that flew in front of the screen? What was that? That black thing? Is that a bird?
Nominal first stage chamber pressure.
No, you know when they say in Superman, was that a bird? Was that a plane? No, it's Superman. I must say the Russian rocket, when it took off, sounded and looked a lot more spectacular. But it did end up failing and fell to Earth. At
We're now
least this
2 plus
rocket's going
40
to come back
seconds
pretty
into
much
the
close to where it took off.
NROL-87 mission. Falcon 9 is throttling down in preparation
Power and telemetry.
for Max Q, which will take
Got a
place
barren
in T
area.
plus 1 minute 12 seconds. Max Q, of course, being the moment in which the vehicle experiences the highest amount of aerodynamic pressure. Beautiful views of the California coast there in the background.
Max Q.
All right, there we heard the call out for Max Q. Everything looking good with stage 1 trajectory. Now, in the next couple minutes, we have 5 events coming up in quick succession, starting with main engine cutoff, stage separation, stage 1 flip, second engine start.
I'd like
1,
to see that fly
then the
over
boost
where I
backward.
am. That would be amazing to see
Main
how
engine cutoff
big
as
it
per
is,
instructions. We
how
will
vibrant it is in the
throttle, or
sky,
we will shut down,
and how close
all
it
9
appears
Merlin
with
engines.
deception,
The stages will separate.
depth perception
The first stage will
compared
actually
to
flip over
the
and
freaky
conduct a
clouds
boost back burn,
and other
and that's what we have
anomalies
to do
that
in
are
order
seen up
to
in the sky.
fly the booster
And
back
even just to
towards
see
land.
how they appear to the naked eye and how
And
the
of course,
camera
during
picks
that
up
time
on
as
them
well, we'll have second
with all
engine
this
start 1,
vibrational
ignite
steam
the Merlin
discharge
vacuum
stuff.
engine. Again, not a cloud in the sky.
Because I'm
gorgeous
starting to
liftoff
think, what's up in the
from
sky? A lot of
Vandenberg Space
vibration.
Force Base, Space Launch Complex 4 East.
Energy with vibration. Okay, I might leave this because it gets into the boring stuff now. But yeah, so tell me, how can it be daytime there and on the ISS it's nighttime? How can that be?
Separation confirmed.
And you know we're watching live. This is friggin' live. If we go back to the ISS, there they are. It's nighttime. And there, of course, is the United States. And the ISS is there. And that is nighttime. So we have no camera feed. Sunrise won't be for another 20 minutes. It tells me. So how can that rocket be going off? And obviously here I am. I'm up here, just down from Brisbane. I'm on the Gold Coast. I'm here. I used to be in Brisbane. There I'm there. I started. And they're all the way over there. And of course, they're all the way over here somewhere, aren't they? Over here, California somewhere. So that makes it even worse. They're sending a rocket off, and they're in California somewhere. So they're over there, and the rocket's ISS is over here, and the rocket's taken off from over there. I don't think that's very safe. What do you think? Am I right or am I wrong? No, you stay there. I want to take a photo. I want to prove to myself that that's there. Otherwise, it'll be gone forever. If you don't capture it while it's there, it's only in your mind. It's like NDFs. It's nothing. It's got no evidence. It's nothing. But anyway, let me know what you think. Have a goat day. Bye.
It makes me sick what I do for this shitty planet.